Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. Today, back again with a bit of a different video. Today I'm going to do a little bit of an instant match reaction for you. I'm telling you a few little things that, I picked up throughout the game and giving you a bit of a sort of instant match reaction. This is as close as to on the whistle as I'm getting. It's about 5 o'clock after the game. So yeah, West Bromwich Albion 0, Huddersfield 1. We'll be talking all through that game in this little video for you. Make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Just thought I might kick this sort of series off and do a few videos like this, instant match reactions over the season. When I'm not sort of at the game, or maybe when I'm not filming a match day vlog. So maybe if there isn't a match day vlog coming for an away game or something like that, maybe I'll do a video like this. So be sure to subscribe and stick around for that. But yeah, let's chat a little bit about West Bromwich Albion 0, Huddersfield 1, because let's face it, it was an appalling performance from West Bromwich Albion, conceding very early on to a goal from Sinani, which was just a really, really poor marker to set out for Albion and a really, really poor precedent to set for the rest of the game. You think about the way that we conceded that goal, how Lewis O'Brien was allowed so much space in the midfield, how we went to press out wide. I can't remember who we went to press out wide, but about 4 of our players went towards, I think it was Huddersfield, one of their wing backs, and they just played such a simple square ball into O'Brien, and those 4 players were completely wiped out the game and allowed O'Brien the space and time to pick out a pass, and he did so perfectly. Played through Danny Ward, who was in a world of space because our back line were just watching the offside decision or the linesman, and it was just dreadful. And obviously a massive ability to just square it across the box into the lad Sinani, who just finished really easily. And yeah, that was just a really poor start to the game. But as you start to sort of get through and digest the rest of the game, it doesn't really change from those mistakes, and things just like that kept happening. They kept having so much space in the midfield. Yes, Lewis O'Brien is a very good midfield player, and I'm sure that's the same for Scott High, a young midfielder coming through. But you'd have thought that a pairing of Livermore and especially Mowat, who obviously we'll get to Livermore a bit later on, as I'm sure you know what's happened with that later on in the game. But you look at somebody like Alex Mowat and you think you're worlds above a player such as, I don't know, Scott High. You thought that Mowat would be able to pocket him, and O'Brien is probably a really decent Championship midfielder, but the rest you just couldn't get near them, and it was pretty embarrassing, especially for Livermore. Just clearly hasn't got the legs anymore. Obviously got sent off later on in the game, which I think it was a little bit of I kind of think that's a little bit of a harsh decision on Livermore. I feel like he was trying to play the ball, and I feel like that's perhaps where he should be given a bit of benefit of the doubt on that one. But it was still a high foot, and still just a summary of our game, really. It was just predictable, boring football, to be honest, from Albion. It was appalling, to be quite honest, and it was really, really bad. And in terms of where the blame lies for this game, obviously the players just look like they haven't really got a clue in this system. Let's just face that fact for starters, that they just don't look like they know what they're doing. They don't look like they're at home in this system like they perhaps did at the start of the season. I look back at that Bournemouth game and I just think the intensity levels were just poles apart from what the sort of performance that we've been dishing up recently, and especially in this game in particular. I look at that performance and things just don't make sense to me. How things have gone from Bournemouth to that game. The intensity has just completely dropped. The urgency is completely gone. Absolutely just disappeared from our play whatsoever. There's literally just nothing there for us at the moment, and there's no just real desire to come and win a game. There's no desire to come in and just completely take the game to the opposition. It seems like we just wait for somebody like Huddersfield to just grab a goal against us, and then all of a sudden we'll wait till about 65, 70 minutes, and of course we'll have our 60th minute substitution to go with that, for where we sub one of the front 3 off, and then we'll just go to about 65 minutes and go, we need a win here. Let's turn it on a little bit for 10 minutes, and then we sort of just let the game peter out. But the amount of halves that we've wasted this season, just sort of just sort of like feeling our way into the game, and by that point we're losing, is just getting completely embarrassing. I'm just going to reel off a list of games where that in particular has happened, because I just look at that and that's just completely embarrassing. You consider the sort of, in terms of our squad, it is a good Championship standard squad. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Bournemouth or Fulham, and that goes without saying, really. But You know, look at the games that we sort of let just pass us by and just sort of let ebb away. It just gets so frustrating in the end as to how we just kind of let these games just go by, without really batting an eyelid. Middlesbrough, first half of that game completely wasted. Hull, first half of that game completely wasted. Fulham, yeah, let's just face the whole of that game was completely wasted as well. Bristol played really well in that game, fair enough. Swansea, fair enough, most of that half was fairly, most of that game was fairly awful. But Birmingham, first half of that game completely wasted. Stoke City, in entirety, that game really wasted. QPR, the first half of that game was just completely just out the door. Same with Preston, same with Derby, same with Millwall. There's so many games in this season where we've just sort of just let halves pass us by because we just haven't got that intensity in the squad and just haven't been able to just take the game to the opposition. I have to lie. I am a fan. I say I'm a fan. I am willing to stick with Valérien Ismaël because I do believe that I do believe that every manager should be given that opportunity to have a bit of backing before they start to be really judged in their league position. And I think he's credited. I think he deserves to be credited with the way that he's got us into third position with this kind of squad. In my opinion, I'd be surprised to see us in top 6 by January, even if we do have some investment after that January window. I think by the time that investment could come, even if we do have just a couple of million thrown towards Ismaël, I feel like we could be out the top 6. The way that we're playing, it's not Albion. It's not what we saw at the start of this season. I have to blame at Valérien Ismaël's door partially. I do feel for him, and I'm going to stick a link to an article up below that I wrote about how he does deserve some backing because there have been signs that are good. But the appointment of Valérien Ismaël was based off the fact that you've done this with no budget against you've done this with no budget, at Barnsley. You can do it with no budget at West Brom. But Barnsley was so working up to that style of play from Ismaël. And yeah, I just feel like today sums it up. I feel like Valérien Ismaël was stubborn with his tactics again. I feel like I know it's a bit of a different situation when your captain and your centre midfielder has been sent off, but putting Furlong in centre midfield, oh my God. I mean, yeah, we're just waiting for that 60-minute substitution. It must be quite easy for a manager such as Carlos Corberán, who I think is a very good manager in his own right and has got very good tactics and is aware of his opposition and is a good manager and will prove that with Huddersfield. I think he's overachieving with this side at the moment currently. But it must be so easy for opposition managers to pick themselves against Val because they just think, I know what I'm going to get from you so far this season anyway. Last season against Barnsley, I couldn't control, a manager couldn't control what Ismaël was putting on the table from Barnsley. With us, it's so easy. Try and back a goal, hit us with a bit of pace, hit us with a bit of directness, I suppose, with what Huddersfield did. Nice little ball down the centre, down the side of the defence against our high line, and you're in. You probably scored if you got that attacking quality. I don't think Huddersfield massively have attacking quality, but in that situation they did, and they played it well, and they scored. But then I look at other games like Swansea, how many chances it took us to kind of pick up that the fact that Swansea were getting in behind every time. It's too easy, and I think for managers, opposition managers, it must be so simple to pick yourself off against Val so far this season because you must just think, right, balls down the side, then we'll sit back. They don't know what they're doing. They'll just lump crosses in the box to somebody like Dean Garner. We were crossing to Dean Garner. How can we even begin to do that? When, in fact, that we just don't have anybody to aim at. I mean, we're getting loads of space down the wide areas, but there's nobody in the box. They just, the opposition will flood the box with defenders or midfielders, and they'll head it away. Simple, every time. And it's getting so frustrating watching it happen week after week after week, and something has to really change. I feel like Val deserves his backing in January, if he's still here, that is. Our board by now, they'll press the panic button at any opportunity given. However, I'm certainly thinking that they won't press the panic button when Valérien Ismaël's under a 4-year contract because I just cannot see that happening. I'm really disappointed with the performance today in terms of things I've learned from the game. I feel like we've learned that Val is still stubborn. I think that's something that we know. I think that Livermore-Mowatt pairing is just not going to work. I feel like there's not enough legs, there's not enough cover, there's not enough control over possession like somebody like that pairing that Huddersfield had. With Lewis O'Brien and Scott High. There's no control like they had in the game. And I just feel like that's kind of what we need to look at. The front three is weak that we played at the start of the game. Grant, bullied. Phillips, bullied, and Dean Garner just going down under every single challenge. I wanted to be his biggest fan after last week, and I wanted to spur on and get another goal, but it's just not coming for him, and I don't think it's going to work with him and Ishmael, because we're trying to play a physical game against a back three with a front three that just is not physical and is too weak for what Val's trying to do with the team. And I think the sooner that Val realises that, I think it's for the better. And the sooner he realises that with the midfield, I think he needs to work out a system or tone down his own system to something that will suit them a lot better. Because right now, I don't think these players have got a clue. And that's really what I've learned from this game. Feel free to drop your comments below. There'll be a full podcast episode coming on Monday where I'll be welcoming another guest onto the show to chat about the weekend's fixture against Huddersfield again. But yeah, this was just a little bit of an instant match reaction for you. Obviously, I'm really disappointed with the performance. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think has gone wrong this afternoon, because I've just expressed my view. I'd love to hear yours as well. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.